Now, in the last 10 years of Floyd Mayweather's career, a lot of people used to come out on social media saying that Floyd's a runner, he does nothing more than run in the ring, he's just a hugger, he clinches, you know, he does this, he does that, and none more so than when he fought Manny Pacquiao. And the next day, the media, social media, was alive with Floyd's a runner, he's a coward, he doesn't engage, this, that, and the other. Well, what I thought I'd do in this video is I'd like to explain the things that Floyd was doing and how they're very, very high level boxing techniques. Now, first of all, so Floyd against Manny Pacquiao. Now, the one thing you know that Manny Pacquiao is going to do is trying to get in close to you within a certain distance, and he's a swarmer. That's where he wants to fight. He wants to key himself off on your centre line, and that's where he wants to fight. He wants it close to, not right up close, but just maybe with enough room for punching space. And then he'll create these crazy angles on you, and that's the way Manny Pacquiao likes to fight. That's the preferred distance that Manny likes to fight in. Now, if you look at the fight, Floyd comes out and immediately he establishes his range. He uses the jab, he steps back, but he's controlling that range. And Manny already is starting to get frustrated because he wants the fight not there, he wants it closer to Floyd, because that's where he can weave his magic. The Manny Pacquiao you've seen so many times, but Floyd knows that he cannot let Manny Pacquiao dictate the distance. So Floyd's dictating the distance with jabs, step backs, and what he's also doing, he's not letting Manny Pacquiao key off on his centre line. That means Manny's centre line is aligned with Floyd. What Floyd is doing is moving from side to side. So as soon as Manny Pacquiao comes forward and gets too dangerous, Floyd will then move off either left or right using lateral movement. Now, for somebody who likes to key off on your centre line and wants to fight at a certain distance, and you've moved away, so then Manny has to adjust or Floyd exits. Now, the other added effect of this is that you are fighting at Floyd's pace. Manny likes to fight at a high tempo, throw loads of punches, but he's not being allowed to. Floyd's dictating the distance. If Manny gets too close, Floyd has the option of moving off to the left or the right. Now, Manny's such a good boxer. Yes, he caught Floyd on the rope sometimes, but Floyd also had that exit strategy. And you notice that when Manny caught him there, a few times, or quite a few times, Floyd was able to exit to Floyd's left, Manny's right. Manny didn't prepare for that. Now, the other thing that can frustrate a swarmer or a pressure fighter like Manny is to tie up. Now, that's not, we've seen people say, oh, it's a cowardly thing to do. No, it isn't. It's a thing called cadence disruption. Now, if you tie somebody up and you control them, again, you nullify them. You stop them fighting at their pace, at their distance, and they have to reset. You do not allow your opponent to get into any sort of rhythm. You don't allow him to dictate the distance. You don't allow him to get into any rhythm. And this is what Ward and Bernard Hopkins used to do time and time again. They would nullify their opponents by tying up, controlling, and then you have to reset. And it makes for a very jagged tempo. You don't get into any rhythm, yeah, because you are fighting at Ward's, Bernard's, Floyd's rhythm, because they are dictating the pace of the fight. They are saying, yep, no, I don't want to fight now. I'll tie up, I'll control. Then you have to reset. And it's very, very frustrating, and it's very, very wearing. And a lot of fighters will then make mistakes. The fight progresses on. You'll see Manny more and more disillusioned, more and more crestfallen. And really, in the last few rounds, he's got nowhere to go. He's trying different things, but, and again, no disrespect to Manny Pacquiao or Freddie Roach, but they didn't prepare for those things. Surely, if you know how Floyd fights, you build those things into your training camp. You know, you have little strategies in place for what Floyd is going to do. Because I said, even if the fight had happened 5-6 years earlier, whenever it was first mooted. You know, that's how Floyd's going to fight. And I always wonder why Freddie didn't work on fighting in the clinch, you know, dirty fighting. Why not do it? You know, have a little plan, have a little step over for when Floyd exits out on the left-hand side, because you know he's going to do that. You know, why not build those things in? But like I said, it didn't happen, and Floyd cruised to a wide points victory. But my point is, so many people said that fight was boring, but it's a work of genius, because Floyd nullified Manny Pacquiao all night long, and that's what you do in a boxing ring. You nullify your opponent. Anybody can stand there and trade punches. You know, you can go to 1 million fights a year and see that happen. But somebody like Floyd, that's incredible boxing. Now, we saw another example of this recently when Anthony Joshua fought Andy Ruiz. Now, Joshua stayed on the outside, controlled Ruiz with his jab, and again, if you look at the fight, you'll see Joshua coming on the line and off the line. He's not letting Andy Ruiz set his feet. He's not letting Andy Ruiz get into that distance, which so sorely troubled Joshua in the first fight. No, we're not going to fight there. And Joshua did look a little bit clumsy in tying up. It's not something he's used to, but something I feel would be a very useful tool to learn in the future. But Joshua's movement on the outside, controlling the distance with his jab, and then coming in and stepping out. And when Ruiz started wanting to get into that little space in front of Joshua, Joshua wasn't allowing it, because that's the danger area. So it's not running, it's not being cowardly, it is very, very high level boxing. And I do think if Joshua can develop this style, get more adept at tying people up, controlling people when they're close to, and boxing at range and stepping in, because he had beautiful movement against Ruiz, and I think if he develops that, he'll be a handful for any top heavyweight, because very few boxers can punch and move. Anyway, thanks for watching, thanks for listening, and I will see you in the next video. Take care.